Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel. My name is Pixel, and today we are going to be taking a look at some gameplay and the performance of the recently released Epic Game Store exclusive SIFU. We had the game running on our SAPPHIRE NITRO RX6800XT graphics card alongside the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X CPU, and the game was maxed out at a 1440p resolution. All the gameplay in this video was captured using AMD Relive, and the performance overlay in the top right is provided by River-Tuner Statistics Server, so let's get right to it. Upon jumping into SIFU, the first thing that you will likely notice is the beautiful hand-painted art style. Personally, the visuals remind me a lot of the Telltale Walking Dead games, minus the rather harsh inked outlines. There are legitimately points, especially during cutscenes, where I was almost convinced that I was looking at a 2D hand-drawn frame. Barring a few low-resolution textures, the game manages to put out an incredibly clean, mostly easy-to-read image. Another area where the artists have delivered excellent consistency is in the game's general lighting and VFX work. Each section of each level manages to look visually distinct from the next, often despite sharing many of the same environmental assets. In a game where you are expected to replay the same levels over and over again, the constant change in scenery does a fairly decent job of keeping each stage feeling nice and fresh through numerous attempts. Put simply, I've not really got anything negative to say about the presentation. Performance, on the other hand, is where things start to get a little messy. Thankfully, during moment-to-moment gameplay, the game runs extremely smoothly and with excellent frame rates. We're often talking about hundreds of frames per second. Unsurprisingly, at these sorts of frame rates, our GPU usage is really maxed out, and that's not really a problem. Considering that the game is running on Unreal Engine 4 and using the DirectX 11 API, I think the developers have done a stand-up job in terms of optimization, especially when it comes to the CPU. Unfortunately, however, the game can suffer from some rather extreme hitches when transitioning to new areas within a level. I'm assuming that this is simply due to loading in and out entire sections of the map. However, not only can these be very obviously seen and felt, they also frequently cause issues with the mouse input, causing the camera to, well, completely spaz out, often leaving you facing a random wall or feeling completely discombobulated. These very rarely, if ever, interfere with the combat, but they are certainly frustrating. SIFU is a game that can be brutally difficult, and that difficulty can cause people to get short-tempered, so having basic traversal spoiled by such intense hitching, especially when taking into consideration how frequent these hitches can end up being, is simply not very nice. So much so that in fact I'd say that these hitches take the game from being pretty amazing, right down to just being fairly decent. Whilst the rest of the game is for the most part excellent, bugs can and do show up from time to time. These can range from being hit through solid surfaces, having enemies teleport through walls, and sometimes they even get stuck in the geometry, causing them to just stand there swinging wildly. I've even experienced a few what I would consider to be rather serious game-breaking bugs, such as getting stuck in a falling animation and having to restart the entire level in order to continue. I want to be perfectly clear here, by no means am I saying that the game is a buggy mess. If anything, I'd honestly consider SIFU to be one of the most polished games that I've played recently. However, due to the brutal difficulty combined with the run-based nature, these sorts of bugs, despite how minor they may seem on the surface, are able to have a rather profound effect on the outcome of a run, which is why I'm likely being more harsh than what I would normally be. One other thing that I'd like to quickly bring up is the way that the game handles the mouse input and the camera. When trying to rotate the camera, you'll soon come to notice that the input sensitivity feels incredibly variable. I'm not certain what causes this, but there does seem to be multiple things at play here. First of all, sensitivity seems to be lower the closer the camera is to a facing wall. Secondly, it feels like your frame rate may be having an effect on the camera's speed. And finally, during certain moves, the camera will become locked in place, totally throwing off your hand position, requiring you to lift the mouse, which, as you can imagine, is far from ideal when our attack buttons are bound to the clicks. At the end of the day, SIFU is honestly a very good game, and for those of you that enjoy this sort of difficulty, maybe you could even consider it to be outstanding. The game is beautiful, and barring the level transition hitching, it runs great. Mouse input, on the other hand, could use an awful lot of work, but it's at least playable. Do I recommend the game? Yeah, of course, without a doubt. With all that said though, that is once again going to be me done for today, so from myself and everybody here at the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel, thank you so much for watching. If you're new around here, then please do consider slapping that subscribe button and ringing that bell so you'll be notified of our future uploads. And if you've got any questions, suggestions, or feedback, you can let us know by leaving us a message in the comment section down below. And finally, if you've liked this video, be sure to like this video. For now though, thanks for stopping by, and until next time, we'll catch you all later. Bye bye.